Hi, I'm Wanda Steele and welcome to Around Town. Today's guest happens to be someone I am very fond of. It's my brother, Mike Steele. We're shooting on location at Steele Aviation, a small airfield just inside of Forsyth County. Later on, we're going to be chatting with Michael and learning more about the operation here. And maybe I'll get a ride in one of those planes. We're back now with my brother Mike. He just took a quick spin around the field, and I think he's going to chat with us now a little bit about the airfield. So, Michael, how long has this field been here? How long have you been operating the field?
This field started on my dad's tobacco farm in 1954. I was a little 10-year-old kid, just completely eaten up with airplanes and aviation, and that was the biggest thrill of my life for my dad to learn to fly and to bring that cub to the farm. And so I rode with him every chance I got. Usually it was just on weekends because he was a farmer, farmed all week. And it actually started out as a 500-foot cow pasture. Believe it or not, we would come down in the afternoons to fly. We'd run the cows out, take down the fence, and go flying. And it stayed that way for years and years. And I was so glad when it was no longer a cow pasture. And we kept extending it. And over the years, so now I'm actually up to about 2,600 feet.
Okay, now I don't remember the cow pasture part, but I remember when the field was planted in tobacco at one time, right?
Actually, where we're standing now, this was a tobacco field as before the extension.
Okay.
It stayed 1,300 feet for quite a few years, and then it was extended to 2,000. And later on, I was able to expand it on out to its present length.
Okay. How large of an aircraft can land in here?
Oh, I've had several light twins in here.
Now, you know, I used to go flying with Dad some too when I was little, and every now and then he would act up. Did he ever do any acrobatics with you in the plane?
Oh, of course. That was his favorite thing.
And I seem to recall one ride with you when you took me up in a biplane you had one time. Tell me, and you restored that plane, right? Tell me about that.
That is correct. I bought that aircraft wrecked back in '83, and it was a new production type biplane known as a Great Lakes, and I kept it 10 years, and it was a fully aerobatic airplane, and it was made to go upside down, so we usually did.
Weren't you ever afraid you might fall out?
Well, you were strapped in really good.
Okay. So how many hangars are on the field, Michael, and kind of what's your day-to-day operation down here?
Okay, I presently have 20 aircraft based here, and I buy and restore aircraft. I'll show you one in a few minutes that we're presently starting to tear down and do a full restoration.
Now, I think there's a special event coming up in Winston-Salem this weekend. Let's tell everybody about that in case they have some free time and they'd like to go see it.
Okay, it'll be a great 2-day air show at Winston-Salem. I'll take this aircraft out on Friday afternoon, and it's a great event, a lot of things for kids to do, and it's an unusual show this year. We actually have the Harrier, which is the only civilian-owned Harrier in the country. That's an aircraft that actually takes off and lands vertically. And will actually be a rocket-powered school bus there, which everybody will be thrilled over.
That sounds exciting.
But there'll be a lot of events and music for the crowd.
Entertainment.
A lot of entertainment other than aircraft. Saturday and Sunday, I think the gates open around 10 a.m. I'll be in the Warbird Parade, which will be, we fly at 4 in the afternoon, and that'll be the last act of the day.
Okay, and are you planning to do any tricks in the plane you'll be flying?
Actually, we'll just be making low passes with the Warbirds.
Tell me about this large plane here.
This is known as the North American AT-6. This was the last aircraft the young pilots flew before they climbed into their fighters, which was usually a P-51 or a P-47, that type of aircraft. It was known as a pilot maker. It's rather difficult to fly, but it really makes a person a good pilot. And that was their intent, to really make them sharp, because when they climbed into the P-51, there was no longer an instructor with them. This aircraft has a 600 horsepower engine. This one was built in 1943. And
how fast does it go?
It cruises from 160 to 170, just depending on the amount of fuel you want to burn. And when you're playing or diving, you get it up to around 230, 240, in that range. It was actually used by 80 different countries during World War II as a trainer, and there was over 16,000 of them built.
Wow. Okay. How did you acquire this plane, Michael?
Well, I always wanted one, and I went on the internet and found it in State College, Pennsylvania. It had just been completely refurbished, and I went up and looked at it and made the deal, went back the next week, got it checked out, and flew it home.
Wow, okay. Then this is the plane that you will be flying at the air show.
That is correct.
You do take this plane all across the country to air shows, right?
We do about 4 to 5 shows a year. I'll be doing the Winston show, and then I have another one down in Greenville, South Carolina at the end of the month. And then in November, we'll be at Monroe, North Carolina for the last show of the year.
All right.
And next spring, they've already contacted me at Wilmington and want me to bring it to that one.
Mike, you might be wondering why I'm dressed like this today. Ever since you've owned this plane, you've been promising me a ride in it. So I've come prepared. So what do you say?
I say let's go. Today's the day.
All right. Well, as you can see, I am still on the ground. Or in aeronautical terms, I'm grounded. I see Mike over under a hangar. Let's go see what he's up to. Mike, this is one of the planes that you're restoring. Is that right?
That's correct. This is known as a M35 Bonanza. It's actually 45 years old, and it'll be a complete restoration with paint, interior, and completely going through the airframe.
When it's finished, are you doing this for someone, or is this just a project you're working on for yourself?
No, this is mine, and it will be a great, fast cross-country airplane when it's finished.
Okay, am I going to get a ride in that one?
I hope so.
Me too. So how fast does this aircraft go?
It'll cruise around 175, and you're looking at, say, here to Myrtle Beach, around an hour.
Do you ever name your planes?
Well, I've always called the T6 Old Betsy. Don't know why, but that's what we've always called it.
I think a good name for this plane would be Wanda.
Why?
So, Mike, do you ever name your planes?
Yes, I do. For some reason, we always call the T6 Old Betsy.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any plans for a name for this plane?
We'll probably have to call it Miss Deborah, because she's my wife Deborah cannot wait until this aircraft is finished, because it'll be a great cross-country aircraft to go see her grandkids down in Raleigh.
Deb travels around a lot with you when you go to the air shows and everything?
Oh, yeah. She goes to all the shows with me and really enjoys it.
Well, Deb's a great gal. We love her. And where is she today? She couldn't be with us for the interview.
Well, she works at the Baptist Hospital, so that's where she is today.
Okay. Well, I'm in the plane now. It's almost time to go. I'm getting a little nervous. Mike, are you up there?
I'm ready to go.
Oh, no. Why is this thing not closed? Shouldn't this thing be closed?
Actually, we'll leave it open for takeoff and landing.
Oh, he says they leave it open for takeoff and landing, but it makes me feel a little nervous. How do I look?
Nervous.
Mike! You promised no flipping! Wow, we're back. What a ride, what a thrill! We want to say a special thanks to my brother Mike for having us out here today at Steele Field, and we'll see you next time around town. Hey, Mike, do you think we could go up again?